Okay, so today we are going to do expansion of algebraic expressions. So why must we learn how to do the expansion of algebraic expressions? Now for simple mathematics questions like this, let's say we have 3 and a 4 here, and there's a bracket. What is the operation between 3 and 4? The operation is it plus, minus, times, or divide? What type of operation do we have? What do you think? Sheila says times. Okay, so it is actually without any operation written down here, we have down here 3 times 4, and we will get 12. Now, what happens if you have a question that is 3 bracket 4 plus 2? What is the answer? Very good. Okay, Roy got the answer. For the rest of us, what do you think? How can you split it up into 2 multiplications? Yeah, Roy, can you don't mind show us? Yeah, what you just said, you say what you say was correct. It's okay.
I write what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. So you are right to say that we use 3 times 6, right? So we get 18. Now another way of doing it is to split it up into 2 multiplications. 3 times 4, what will we get? Don't scare me. 3 times 4? 12. 3 times 2? 6. And we will still get 18. So how did we get 3 times 4 plus 3 times 2? We do something what we call expansion. And why is it necessary? Because many a times B and C are called unlike terms. They are unlike terms, so we cannot add them up together. So in order to multiply them, we have to do an expansion. So what will we get in this case? AB, and then plus AC. Okay, the reason was here, because in this case, we cannot add the B plus C. So the only way to expand it is we have to multiply each term, A times B, and then we have to add A times C. Now, another way to look at this is, actually you can look at expansion in terms of like area multiplication. So we will have A here, right? The length is A, and we multiply by a length B plus C. Am I right? One of the length is B plus C, and one of the length is A. So A multiplied by B, what is the area there? In terms of A and B, what area will you get? We will get, AB. Now, down here we are multiplying A multiplied with positive C, we will get AC. But because it is a positive times a positive, so this is a plus sign. Can you see that it's actually the same answer? So the idea of expansion is actually the same as finding the areas. So it's just like length times breadth. Okay, but you must remember the method, and we call this a rainbow method lah. You know, for us to remember it easily, we call this the rainbow method. Okay, later you have a few questions to try. So let me just demonstrate the rest. Okay, before we move on, can you all please take note of this? Okay, remember we just say if there's no operation written in the middle, it is taken as multiplication. So positive multiplied by positive, what will we get? We will have a positive sign. This is something that we remember, right? The next one will be positive times negative. We will have a negative. Well, this one you must remember very, very well. And negative times positive, negative. And lastly, negative times negative. How do we remember this? How do we remember? Habit, practice, practice. Is there any other pattern that you see? Yes. Well done. If it's the same sign, you always get positive. Same sign, you get positive. The sign is opposite, you get negative. So that's one way of remembering. So now, let's do the so-called rainbow method again. So we have A multiplied by B. What will we get? AB. A multiplied by negative 2C. Okay, so we have 2 multiplied by A multiplied by C. And finally, we have, yes. Now when doing this, can you please draw the rainbow so that you are keeping track of what you have done so far? Now we have a different type of question. So going back to the idea of area. One of the length here is A plus 2. So we have a length A plus another 2 unit here. So A plus 2. We have another length here, C plus a 5 units length. So multiplying A plus 2 with C plus 5 is just like saying multiply length times breadth, right? So that's the idea lah. A multiplied by C, what's the area that we will get? In terms of algebra, we'll get AC. Down here, 2 multiplied by C, we'll get 2C. So, where else? Okay, A multiplied by 5. Very good. You all say 5A. Please do not write A5. In algebra, the number must always be in front. So, we have 5A. And finally, 2 multiplied by 5, we'll have 10. Okay. So all these are positive sign. If it's not written, it's all positive sign. And when we write it out, we will have AC plus 5A plus 2C plus 10. Now, can anyone tell me what is one thing you have to check before we conclude that this is the final answer? What is one thing you must check for this? Okay. Anyone else know? They all cannot be the same. So what do we mean by they all cannot be the same? That means they cannot be like terms. So we cannot have another AC somewhere here. Otherwise, we got to group them together. We cannot have another A here, or C here, or a number here. So we look at these 4 terms, they are all unlike terms. So if they are all unlike terms, that's where we stop. If they are like terms, you got to add them up. Okay, we will just do this one last time very quickly. Can we just read it out? What will we get here? Rainbow method. AC. Okay, can you read out the sign before that? This one will have plus or minus? Plus 5A. And we'll get, yes, very good. Now you say out the sign. So there must always be a sign before the term. And finally, plus 10. Okay, so that is how we do expansion. Anything you are unsure of? Okay, before we start on the exercise, there's one last thing you need to know. Actually, 2 things. What is the meaning of x squared? Okay, very good. X times x is x squared, right? So my question is, later you need to do this. What happens if I need to do x bracket x squared? What do you think we will get? Okay, very good. So what we will get is actually x multiply, there's a multiply sign here, right? Here is also x multiply x. So x multiply x multiply x, we know that it is actually x cubed.